Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on the ChaddyTheChump channel, and today we are going to be reviewing the pretty excellent boxing card that took place this weekend in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, but it was based off Japan. It felt like it was in Japan. The only thing was it wasn't actually in Japan, but it was in Riyadh. And it was filled with Japanese fighters who fought very, very well. Only 4 fights, right? This card almost felt cursed with the amount of pullouts that happened on it. But the event still took place. The main 2 fights still went ahead, which is all that really mattered. And we are going to be talking about the card, the last card of 2025. So let's get right into it. So let's talk about the headline fight of this card. Inoue absolutely outclassing Picasso. I mean, it wasn't even really a test, right, for Inoue. It was very easy. Obviously, you know, my thumbnail in my last video might make you think I thought this was going to be more of a 50-50 fight. I did, obviously, was like 95% sure that Inoue would have no problem in this fight. Especially with fights that are, you know, planned to happen in the future, and that is going to happen in the future. So this was kind of a banker, and that is what it proved to be, right? Inoue outboxed him every single round. He won every round. I think there was one scorecard. I don't know if it was 118 to 110 or that was a different fight, which we are going to talk about, that NAKATANI fight, don't worry. But, you know, there were some scorecards that might have been closer, but really, it was a 108 to 120 scorecard. That's what it was. It was truly an absolute outboxing affair that Inoue gave to Picasso. Simple, right? There are levels, and Inoue's going to step up now, and in terms of opponent, right? Not in terms of weight, but in terms of opponent. And he's going to fight NAKATANI, which should be an amazing fight. That will be in Japan, and I am looking forward to that. But moving on, right? Because this is really the topic that we have to talk about. Is this NAKATANI fight he took on Sebastian Hernandez, and it was truly a very, very close fight, right? The start of the fight, I think me and everyone else was thinking, yeah, this is going to be an absolute, you know, easy affair for NAKATANI. He won all 4, you know, of the first rounds, probably maybe all 5. But then the second half of the fight, Sebastian Hernandez just turned into an absolute machine. He would just get inside the pocket and absolutely hammer at NAKATANI. And NAKATANI, in some, you know, cases, actually fought inside the pocket. He didn't stay outside the pocket. I mean, it's very hard as well, which I will take into account. It's very hard for a fighter to kind of run away from a guy who's just running at you and just wants to absolutely bang. But that is what Hernandez did, and NAKATANI tried his best, but in the end, he definitely lost, you know, the second half of the fight. By how many rounds? 5, maybe 6. And then the scorecards got very, very close in all of the fans' eyes, except for one judge who was scoring the bout. He scored it 118 to 110, and that is absolutely ridiculous. It's just, it's a very stupid scorecard. Of course, you know, there are flaws with this sport. And the main one is the fact that judges score it, and the judges, you know, most of the time do good scoring, right? I will accept the 115 to 113 scorecards, which were the other two that were given to Hunter Nakatani. I think, to be honest, you know, Hernandez definitely deserved at least one scorecard in his favour, but he didn't get it, so it will be a unanimous decision. I will accept those scorecards, but 118 to 110 literally means you have got Hernandez winning 2 rounds. 2 rounds. That is ridiculous, because he definitely won at the very, very, very minimum 4 rounds, probably 5 though, if we're actually being realistic, 5 and possibly even 6. This fight could have been a draw, right? But that scorecard was very stupid, right? The other two more acceptable, right? Which obviously had it being a closer contest in being 7-5, because that's what a 115 to 113 scorecard is. And yeah, you know, you kind of feel bad for Hernandez, but also, you know, deep in everyone's mind, they still want Nakatani to win, because we won this big super mega fight that is Inoue versus Nakatani. So now the question, and a lot of people are going to be thinking this after the fight, and that is Nakatani good enough to beat Inoue? Now, to be honest, I probably would edge the fight to Inoue, but I will say this: I don't think a lot of people should take a whole lot from that performance, because Sebastian Hernandez and Naoya Inoue have literally polar opposite styles, right? Inoue, of course, does like to get a knockout. He hasn't got one of, you know, his recent fights, but he does like to get a knockout. But he isn't like Hernandez, just absolutely throwing bombs inside, you know, the pocket. He isn't like that, you know. He still likes to fight outside the pocket in a way, as does Hunter Nakatani. So I do think, you know, of course, styles make fights. That fight will be closer than, you know, a lot of people think, just based off of that performance against Sebastian Hernandez. And it's going to be exciting. I still probably would edge to Inoue, right? But it's very close. It's still quite close, and it's still going to be an absolutely amazing fight. So I am glad Hunter Nakatani won that fight, despite it being very, very close. Quick talk about the other 2 fights on this card. Reito Tatsume absolutely demolished Lebardo Quintana. It was a very good performance from Tatsume, right? The first, I think, 3 rounds were pretty, you know, close, right? Quintana was going at it, but then once Quintana kind of tired out, Reito kept with him the entire fight, and then once he tired out, he managed to put him away. So a very good performance from Reito Tatsume. As well as that, an upset was delivered by Erickson Garcia as he defeated Tiger Imanaga. Now, you know, it was quite a big upset, but I think he did deserve the fight. It was a pretty close scorecard, but he did deserve it. He was boxing a lot better. And interestingly enough, it looks like that Erickson Garcia is going to Zuffa Boxing, which is Dana White's, you know, brand new boxing promotion, and their first event is pretty soon. I think it was meant to be in January, but I don't know what's happened to that. But he is going there, so that should be pretty interesting, and he's a pretty good fighter to watch. I enjoyed the fight, so yeah, I'm looking forward to him joining Zuffa Boxing if those rumours are true. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching this review of Night of the Samurai in Riyadh. It was the last card of 2025, and this isn't the last video of 2025 though. We've still got one more video left, which is my Boxing of the Year awards, which I think I'm going to be releasing probably on New Year's Eve, so make sure you watch out for that. It's going to be very cool, It's a bit of a different video idea. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.